Hello, it's Lord's Law here, coming back at you with another video, and the topic of today's is the best to worst Ice Warrior stories. So when I was little, I was a big fan of the Ice Warriors. I mean, they look cool, and at least in some of the episodes, absolutely wreck. I mean, in the Seeds of Death, the body count is pretty high, and to be honest, that's one of my favourite parts about that episode. And mostly, they've been treated pretty well, even if they're not the most imaginative of Doctor Who villains. But if anybody, quite likes the Ice Warriors, I highly recommend checking out the Big Finish, Lords of the Red Planet, as that's their origin story, which was written by Brian Hayles, but a lot of work was put into it by, I think it was John Dorney. It was one of the Big Finish writers, because the script wasn't really finished because it was way too ambitious and they put the Seeds of Death in place. But anyway, let's get into it. So at the worst spot, we have Cold War. So it's no secret, I absolutely hate Series 7. That's New Who Series 7. It's absolutely abysmal. I can't stand it. It's my least favourite season. And this is not as bad as most of the season. It's still not a good episode. It's still pretty flawed, but it works. I think I enjoyed it a lot more back in the day just because it was like, oh my god, the Ice Warriors are actually back, but not a lot happens in this episode, and the Ice Warrior is so badly utilized, and taking its suit off, I don't think worked. I really didn't like that part about it. It it just didn't work as an Ice Warrior story for me, and it wasn't particularly that great. It was just a bit mediocre. Uh, it didn't do too much wrong, didn't do too much right. There's nothing really you can say about a story like this because it's just so bland and mediocre. So at the next spot, we have the Ice Warriors. Now, don't let that be a discredit to the episode. The next three I like just about as equally as each other. The top one I like quite a bit more than the rest, but these three here are pretty much on the same level. This is kind of an order which could change around, but yeah, this is a really enjoyable story. I feel like it can be a bit in times, like the plot isn't moving forward quite as much as it could be. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a slow pace. I love slow paces, and a slow paced thing when it's done right, I absolutely love. But the story still has been moving forward, because I feel that doesn't always do that in the story. But still, it's pretty enjoyable. The Ice Warriors are pretty good, even if their laugh is a crime against humanity. The Ice Warriors should never laugh, and that's definitely one thing to learn from the story. And on DVD release, the animation is abysmal, but I can't blame the episode for that. That's just BBC being lazy. But yeah, it's a pretty good story, and that's why it comes in at this spot. So at the next spot, we have the sorely underrated Monster of Pelham. It will confuse me to this day why people really don't like this episode. And I mean, really don't like this episode. This constantly comes in like the top 20 worst Doctor Who episodes in big polls. Like, I believe that's in the DWM 2009 poll it came, the worst 20. It's like, why? What's so bad about this episode? I mean, sure, it kind of there's a bit of going backwards and forth, but I think the Ice Warriors are pretty good. The Paladin cast is really enjoyable again, even if there's been some changes because it's in the future and it's not as good as the previous one. But you can't just say something's not good because it's not as good as its predecessor. It by its own merits, I still think it's really enjoyable, and it's still got some pretty good characters. I love the miners, especially Gebek, and it just works really well as a story, and I really enjoy it. And I honestly don't know why people don't like it. So at the next spot, we have the Seeds of Death. I really like this episode. I mean, I did used to like it a lot more when I was little. But these days, not so much. I kind of find I tune out from it a bit after episode 5. But yeah, it's still a really enjoyable story. Not that it's particularly clever or um, anything like that. It's cool, okay? It's got the Ice Warriors doing what they do best, just annihilating people. I mean, the body count in this episode I mentioned earlier is through the roof. It's not resurrection standard, but it's still pretty high. I mean, within the first 3 minutes, you've got Ice Warriors killing people. That's when you know you've got a quality episode. Also, I just find like the whole seeds thing enjoyable. T-Mat's an interesting concept which to play around with, which was, pretty outstanding for 1969. So, rocket will be outdated one day, and it's sort of coming through these days where people just don't really give a toss about space anymore. Some other things have got their attention, and yeah, it's a really fun, really enjoyable episode, and that's why it comes into this spot. So at the top spot, we have the Curse of Paladin. This story is really good. Maybe not so much as an Ice Warrior story, at least for me, because there's not a huge body count like Seeds of Death, and barely anybody dies, actually. But yeah, it still works really well as a story, as well as showing the Ice Warrior's more honourable side, which was built off a lot of an expanded universe. But it's just a really fun little story which has some great political commentary with, it was relevant at the time with the whole UK joined the EEC, like traditions of, entering new realms, like catching up with the rest of everybody, that kind of thing. And it just works really well. It's got some great characters. King Paladin's great, Hepesha's great, Grun is basically a living meme within my chats, just with his amazing grunts. It's so good. Oh, and when John Pertwee sings to Agador, I absolutely love that moment because John Pertwee has a beautiful singing voice. But overall, there's not too much to say about this episode other than it's just really enjoyable. It has some good political commentary. It's I don't know why, it's weird that. It's one of those episodes which don't know what to say about it. But oh well, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you back next time in another one.